Just across the Pawcatuck River in Stonington lies the oldest working farm in Connecticut. Larry Davis, the 12th generation to farm this land, is milling lumber to help restore and repurpose the landmark Stanton Davis Homestead. The Stanton Davis Homestead, 100 years older than the White House and the oldest house in Stonington, is now the Stanton Davis Homestead Museum. The homestead was a meeting place for three different American cultures: Native Americans, European colonists, and African slaves. The homestead was the scene of many stories, including Venture Smith, an African slave whose family lived at the farm. John Witt Davis, Larry's father, farmed the land until his death in 2016 when Larry took over. Witt was determined to preserve and protect his historic home, and in 2004 donated the homestead to a newly formed nonprofit corporation that is now working to turn the homestead into a living museum and education center. Gil Bliss, an expert in historic preservation, has been leading a team of contractors and dedicated volunteers to do the work.
The bulk of what you're seeing right now was built in the 1720s. In the 1670s, Thomas Stanton built a house here for his eldest son and new daughter-in-law. He didn't want them necessarily living in his house by the trading post and decided to have, a better presence for what would be developed as a farm down here. So 1670s, these four walls, 2 stories plus attic roof space, was the kernel of the house.
The homestead, after over 300 years of constant use by multiple generations, needed extensive work if it was going to be saved.
And we're right now starting kind of the last major internal project for the house. And that's been a project that's been several years in the creation of, both for the architectural and engineering aspects of it, as well as getting the funding put together for it. That last project is really the attic floor system and the roof system, so that we can put a new roof on it and put the center chimney stack back up through the roof. We had brought it down inside the roof because it was in such crumbling condition we didn't want anybody hit falling brick. So all of that will be going back up. A new roof goes on it, and we'll have a sound structure from our foundation up through the roof. Then we can start dealing with the ugly duckling, what everybody's been looking at for years, the Typar, the Tyvek. But we wanted to have the structure sound first. The other project that we've taken on ourselves, as far as the board with help from volunteers, is the cheese room.
We have been talking about this whole idea of rebuilding the cheese room for about, I'd say 3 years. And we finally got all of our ducks in a row. Now today we're actually seeing the product of planning that's going to be making our new wood for the post and beam cheese room structure.
And what we want to do with the cheese room, which is an L off the back of the house, which was added on in the 1760s, is use that as our main visitor entry. We'd like to take the handicap ramp, which the town of Stonington very kindly gave us money to acquire, and we'd like to get it off the front facade so we have that facade back. Put that around to the back to the cheese room and have that as our main entry for visitors. Earlier, more original fabric with the vertical boards, the lath, and remnants of plaster. You can see where some of it's just gone away and it's been covered over with plywood. You can see we've got our work cut out for us. This is from invasion of water, for the most part, and then bug damage. There's really a lot right here, runoff from the roof, exacerbating the situation. Probably a piece of roof board. Bugs and rot.
In spite of the bugs and rot, this historic homestead has endured for over 350 years. To find out more about the Stanton Davis Homestead Museum and the ongoing effort to save this important historic landmark, you can visit their website at stantondavishomestead.org.